This audio horror series contains themes of horror and adult themes. Viewer discretion is highly advised. You have been warned. Envy. Envy is the burning desire for what others have, whether it's success, beauty, possessions, or love. For one person, the Helltrain Hotel, after its original closing, within its new location for a little while, their friendship with one other person, her envy will take over her and do something very diabolical. I call this tale Envy, Bitter Rivals. In the summer of 1957, the Helltrain Hotel perched on a jagged edge overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Back then, this was its second location, near cliffside, a glamorous retreat for the wealthy. It was the kind of place where the elite escaped the world shrouded in mist and mystery. Guests in tailored suits and flowing dresses danced beneath the crystal chandeliers while the waves crashed against the cliff below. Among them were Evelyn and Margaret, two lifelong friends whose differences had begun to fester in ways only Evelyn truly understood. Margaret had always been the golden one, adored by men, admired by women, effortlessly beautiful. She moved through the world with a grace Evelyn could never match, and with each smile Margaret received, the thorn of envy twisted deeper into Evelyn's heart. They were at the hotel for a week's stay, and each day Evelyn felt herself fading further into the background, invisible in Margaret's shadow. People gathered around Margaret at cocktail hour, hanging on her every word while Evelyn stood at the edge, her laughter forced and brittle. That night, as the two women prepared for bed, Evelyn's jealousy reached a fever pitch. Margaret sat at the veranda, brushing her hair, her long golden hair, her eyes glowing under the light of the room's crystal chandelier. She hummed softly, completely unaware of the darkness brewing behind her. Evelyn watched her through the mirror. She watched the way Margaret's skin glowed, the way her smile effortlessly appeared. Why didn't Margaret have everything? Every smile, every compliment, every success. All things that should have been Evelyn's. rage twisted inside her like a snake coiling tighter. She couldn't stand it anymore. Evelyn knew she had to be more than Margaret. She had to become Margaret. The thought took hold like a fever consuming her. "Margaret," Evelyn said softly, her voice trembling with the tension of her desire. "Do you ever feel like people look at you differently? Like they admired you more than anyone else?" Margaret chuckled, obviously to the bitter edge of Evelyn's tone. "Oh, Evie, you're being silly again. You know people love you." The lie stung. It burned into Evelyn's chest until she could hardly breathe. "I don't think you understand, Margaret." Evelyn's voice grew icy, her hands trembling at her sides. "You always get everything, don't you? All the attention, all the admiration. What do I get?" Margaret turned, finally sensing the shift, her smile fading. "Evie, what's going into you?" Evelyn's heart pounded, her envy turning into something darker, more dangerous. She moved closer, her eyes wild. Margaret's expression shifted from confusion to fear. "You've always had more," Evelyn whispered, her voice low and trembling. "More beauty, more charm, more everything. But not tonight." Before Margaret could react, Evelyn's hand shot out, grabbing the hairbrush from the rim. She raised it high, her knuckles white with tension. And in that moment, her jealousy transformed into something violent, uncontrollable. The fear in Margaret's eyes flickered into horror, but it was too late. The room was filled with a single sharp scream that was quickly swallowed by the roar of the ocean below. The next morning, when the staff found the room, Margaret's body lay crumbled at the foot of the ramp, her golden hair mated with blood, her face a grotesque echo of the beauty that had once been. Evelyn stood before the mirror, brushing her hair with Margaret's blood-stained brush, her face emotionless. She wore Margaret's dress now, had painted her lips the same shade of red Margaret used to wear. In the reflection, she smiled a little triumphant smile, the smile she had envied for so long. But no one came knocking for Evelyn. There were no admirers, no compliments, no adoring glances. She had taken everything she thought she wanted from Margaret. Yet emptiness inside only grew. As night fell again, a knock finally came at the door. But when Evelyn opened, no one stood there, just a cold breeze, carrying the faint whisper of a voice she recognized all too well. "You'll never be me," the voice murmured. And as Evelyn looked back into the mirror, she saw Margaret standing behind her, her reflection unchanged, smiling that radiant, effortless smile, the one that had always haunted her. And Evelyn realized that no matter what she had done, she would never escape the shadow of the woman she had destroyed. A week later, the hotel closed down and was destroyed even then. But it did move into a new location, using the same structure, materials, and resources from that hotel. Maybe that exact same room where it happened, maybe the mirror still lies there, whispering